What's going on, everyone? We are back from Tokyo, ready to continue the beginner series. Tokyo was a blast. We had a fun time. I might do a video on it in the near future. So anyone interested in a recap of the Summoners War Championship, feel free to look out for that. But we are now back. We're grinding. We're pushing the beginner series even further ahead. And we are up to episode 12. Now, for episode 12, we're going to be focusing on TOA Hell. So unfortunately, as you can see here, this cycle of TOA is actually ending in 1 hour. So what I'm going to be doing is just giving you tips for clearing TOA Hell in general on a new account. For starters, you're mostly only going to be focusing on getting the devilmon at 10 stars. However, once you start building up your box and you start getting some other monsters, you can easily start pushing for the 15-star L&D scroll and the 20-star legendary all attribute scroll. As you can see here, we ended up 2-starring stage 1, 3-starring 2 and 3, and then 2-starring stage 4, and this gave us our 10 stars. I did do the 10-star clear on stream, so if anyone is interested in rewatching the video for that, that will be located on my YouTube. For the first floor, we definitely could have 3-starred this. I probably should have just selected this option as well. I don't know why I didn't, but this was not the team we ended up using. I think we ended up using Tyron, Spectra, Lauren, Vertihile, and Mav, and that was what we used to clear stage 1. Moving on to the screenshots here, for the second floor, we ended up using Tyron, Spectra, Lauren, Vertihile, and Veramos. The one thing you have to be aware of is the Veramos has to be the fastest on this team just to clear the silence when the battle starts. As you can see in the screenshot here, we did end up losing Veramos on the final wave. However, it didn't stop us from getting that 3-star clear. Moving on to the third floor, this is where we had some issues with getting the 3-star clear. In all honesty, you could probably end up using something like Seal and the Dark Homunculus here, and it won't actually make a difference, but this is the team we ended up using. Woochi really helped carry with getting our 3-star clear for this one. For the fourth stage, we didn't have a shielder, so we ended up unticking the unrecoverable mark, and we cleared it with Spectra, Tyron, Lauren, Vertihile, and Fran. Fran also helps through a lot of the stages, as there is some times where you could get provoked, so having that immunity buff up was very, very useful. So let's talk about some of the best units that a new player can use in TOA Hell to get their 10-star clear, and then moving on later to the 20-star clear. The first amazing unit that everyone should definitely be using when beginning TOA Hell is Tyron. Now, Tyron has an AoE freeze, an AoE slow, and an AoE pushback. This unit also has the speedly, which you're most likely going to be using until you get maybe a Jemaya or something better. The only thing I do want to talk about is Tyron does have a condition on his AoE pushback on S2, which is that the monsters must have a slow on them for this to actually go into effect. TOA runes for Tyron, I definitely do recommend putting him on fire. You are definitely more interested in the AoE pushback than the AoE CC, as most of the stages can be cleared simply just by keeping the enemy at 0 ATB. Spectra is Tyron's best friend when it comes to TOA Hell. He gives us that AoE slow, which activates Tyron's S2, as well as he also reduces the attack bar and the attack power of all the enemy units. In most stages, you can pretty much go in, use Spectra's S3 into Tyron's S2, and you're set up to really just move through all the stages. One of the most important things about Spectra is he also doubles up as your damage dealer for a lot of the TOA Hell stages. His S2, which deals damage based off of the enemy's max HP, is very important for killing a lot of the bosses, as they generally have a high HP pool. The last unit that I highly recommend beginners build for TOA Hell clears is the Dark Homunculus, combined with Spectra and Tyron. These 3 units are pretty much the godly trio for entry-level TOA Hell. Using these 3 units alone, you can pretty much clear the first 4 stages on 3 stars in pretty much every cycle. As you can see, once you click the skill preference, you can see what most people built, and this is definitely what I prefer as a build as well, which is just going full top line. The most important skill on this unit is actually the unbalanced field. This is what's going to give us another AoE slow, as well as just refreshing our cooldowns so that we pretty much have everything up all the time. Now, you will have to devilmon the Dark Homunculus to get the cooldowns on its skills. However, I highly recommend this for any beginner player that is looking to play the game long term, as even today I'm using Dark Homunculus in a lot of my TOA Hell clears. So as I showed you, we were able to clear the TOA Hell at around about day 20, so most players definitely should be doing this to get that extra devilmon every month within the first month or 2 of playing. And right now we've recommended 3 of the best units just so that you can get the 10-star clear pretty simply, right? You get the Tyron, you put it on a Vio build, you get your Spectre, you make it slightly faster than the Tyron, and you put that also on a damaged Vio build, and then the last unit you need to build is the Dark Homunculus, who, if you can, put him on a Vio build, but this unit you could probably get away with just putting him on anything as well. Going into TOA Hell, this is going to be your core trio. You're going to have Tyron, Spectra, and just pretend this is the Dark Homunculus for now. And then you're going to fill up the team with whatever is going to help you clear a 3-star or even 2-star with the conditions that you see below. In most cases, you're going to be able to take something like Vertihile and Lauren for the early stages, and this will be quite a simple clear. You could also take something like Mav just to get even more cooldown reduction so that you have all your skills up. For TOA Hell, there are also some stages where you could even take Double Grim Reaper and just dot them to death and then get onto the boss stages. The one thing you need to remember about boss stages is you pretty much will always have to either provoke or control the boss just to ensure that they don't get any turns. So you might get rid of Dark Homunculus for a Lauren shown here, and this will just clear through the wave sections, and then these three will control the boss while they're stunned on the sides. You'll also notice that a lot of the stages have a condition where there is a 1 turn of silence effect when the battle starts. This one is accompanied with a 2 turns of counter effect, and the easiest way to deal with this is just to go straight in with your Veramos to clear off the silence. He will have to move first, and then pretty much what you'll end up doing is you'll put your S3 down from Spectra into an S3 from Tyron. Because they have the counter attack, you don't really want to be taking any damage, so we are looking more to CC control these units rather than anything else. For the last position for one of these kind of conditions, you're looking for something that has AoE pushback or an AoE stun. We have already built Seal for the Giants team, and honestly, this unit would perfectly work for this kind of clear. So an example for a team like this would be Tyron, Spectra, Dark Homunculus, Veramos, and then Seal, and you would just have to make sure that your Veramos moves first. For the stages that don't really have any negative effect against AoE CC or AoE control, you're pretty much going to want to try to keep all of these units at 0 ATB at all stages. So you could take your core trio, which would be Tyron, Spectra, and Dark Homunculus, and then you can just take more units that either are going to increase your ATB or decrease the enemy's ATB. So we could take something like Vertihile here as well as Seal, and that would be perfectly fine. The other option you could even go for is something like this as well. This probably will clear quite easily on most cases. For stage 4, for the last rotation, it is very hard for an early game player to clear the unrecoverable effect stages, as you don't really have anything that has shielding or any way to really control anything, and there can be a lot of like really annoying monsters with passives during the levels themselves. If you did want to try to clear one of the unrecoverable stages on 3 stars early on, you could probably build an Emma, which you can get in the Fusion Center, and this might be able to help you get the clear. I'm not going to try it as I was only aiming for 10 stars, so I didn't really need to get that extra star for this stage. From stage 5, unfortunately, this is where they start putting units that have unique passives into the waves, as well as the boss could be a little bit difficult to deal with. As I said earlier on in the video, devilmon are such a huge bottleneck for new players. If you're interested in getting into some of the tougher content where you're using your Nat 5 summons, you just won't have enough devilmon. And getting that 1 extra from TOA Hell can make a difference, because pretty much it means you're building an extra Nat 5 in a single year, which can be a big thing because you need to build probably, 20 to 30 Nat 5s just to start getting some relevant teams for a lot of content. There are a few units that I definitely recommend building for TOA Hell if you do happen to get them. One of them is actually Herne. So you're going to probably need some form of Oblivion for some of the stages, and Herne is probably the easiest way to get it. If you pull a Tsarion, that is also another viable option. The only reason I do prefer Herne is because Herne gives us an AoE pushback as well as a heal and an absorb on S1, so we just get a little bit more ATB control, so I do prefer this unit overall for TOA Hell stages. Herne is also very easy to use early on, as you're able to fuse skill ups for her to get the cooldown reduction on her skills. Woochi is an absolutely fantastic character for TOA Hell. His S3 is an AoE pushback, as well as his S2. The other thing about Woochi is he's very easy to skill up. His fire brother just over here is a 3-star common drop, so you can get him from normal summons as well as the unknown scrolls. I've already fully skilled up my Woochi, which made it super easy for me to get this 10-star clear. If you find any stages where AoE CC or AoE pushback is king, you're more than welcome to use this guy, provided there isn't too many wind enemies during the stages. His S3 is an AoE pushback with a conditional stun. His S2 will give him more cycling, provided that one of the enemies is stunned, and his S1 just has a chance to decrease the target's attack bar. One of the other highly recommended units for TOA Hell for beginners to build is Shamann. You're probably going to use him even later on. So what does Shamann actually do? One of the things that makes him shine in TOA Hell is he can pretty much 1-tap to 2-tap any dark enemy / boss. Combined with all the cooldown reduction you're getting from Dark Homunculus or maybe Mav, he can pretty much have this skill up every time, and it just makes the waves go much faster. One of the other cool things about Shamann is he does have a heal on S1. If there's some stages where you do require a small amount of healing due to, I don't know, the enemies somehow getting a turn here or there, then this could be enough to get you through the stages. When TOA Hell was first implemented into the game, a lot of people were recommending everyone to use 2A Belladeon, and she isn't absolutely amazing for TOA Hell. The only downside to her is I actually don't think I use her at all these days, but if you are just getting started into it and you need another unit that could help with your clears, she is a potential unit you could build. Belladeon's S3 is an ATB increase as well as a heal. The S2 won't be used much in TOA Hell, as it's very rare that you actually need to strip anything, but the S1 is still quite useful, as you might need a defense break set up for your Spectra or your Shamann. With all of the units that I've recommended for you guys in this video, you definitely should be pushing to get your 10-star clear every month just for the devilmon. However, if you're a little bit more progressed in the game and you're trying to push now to that 20-star clear, what I do actually recommend you guys do is go check out on YouTube any of the TOA Hell clear video guides. There's quite a few creators out there now who are making video clears on how to get 3-star for every stage every month. For me, I don't really need to use the guides, as I only go for a 20-star clear. However, they do focus on getting the whole 30 stars. One of the last tips I'm going to give you guys for TOA Hell is if you are a free-to-play player and you're looking to maximize your energy usage, there is a free TOA energy weekend. I think it's maybe the 3rd weekend of every month. And if you do really want to like maximize that energy potential, you can wait for that weekend to come and then just rush through TOA as fast as you can, just to save a little bit more energy. So looking at the beginner account and where we are right now, we are now level 100 on this account. So we have fully unlocked the tower. What we are going to be moving on to is we need to really start speeding up our beginner dungeon teams. We also need to start moving on to guild battles, siege battle, and stuff like this. As always, guys, if you did enjoy the video, remember to give it a like. There's going to be a lot more content coming out in the next few days. So if you are looking forward to that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified of when it comes live. That's going to be all for this one, guys. Peace out.